Anchor Bay Entertainment brings us the new documentary about Gunnar Hansen, who portrayed Leatherface in the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, a documentary entitled Dinner with Leatherface, which features interviews with just a ton of people who knew Gunnar Hansen, many of which are fellow horror icons and celebrities, down to fans and filmmakers, and try to paint a picture of who this guy was and what this guy was. And really, at the end, what an intelligent, kind, nice guy this guy was, who, if anybody knows who he is, generally it's, oh yeah, it's that guy with the skin mask and the chainsaw who killed those poor teenagers, including Franklin in Texas back in the early 70s. He's a really nice guy. That's what I always heard. And this really, it's a combination of interviews with other people and interviews with Hansen himself from obviously before he died. It is directed by Michael Kallio with Betsy Baker, Michelle Bauer, Bruce Campbell, Kim Henkel, John Dugan, and many, many more in English. It's obviously in English language with English SDH and Spanish subtitle options. It is from, as I said, the newly revived Anchor Bay, very appropriate. And I don't have a heck of a lot to say about the movie, because it's just mostly talking head interviews and clips from some low budget films that Hansen was in. But you get a lot of really great stories about him. You get him telling jokes. You get him being goofy. You find out that this guy was a poet. He lived in Maine. He loved the outdoors and nature and art and culture. And he just happened to be in this horror movie way back when, and happened to be able to find, gainful employment in the horror genre based on being in that horror movie way back when. He did not view himself, I don't think, primarily as an actor, but he became one over time. And it's just this interesting story of this guy who's no longer with us, and people who were regulars on the convention scene always loved and kind of miss the fact that he's not around anymore. And it's just a very loving tribute to this man's legacy, really. So extras include an Easter egg that's 1 minute that I discovered. I still look. Every release I get, it's a habit from the DVD era, where every button on every menu, it's left, right, up, down, okay, nothing there. And once in a while, something will light up, and you're like, oh, what's that? And you hit the button, and you get content that otherwise you never would have seen. I honestly don't remember what that 1 minute was, but I try not to tell you what they are, other than the fact that there's an Easter egg here if you want to go looking for it. There's a commentary by writer-director Michael Kallio and editor Josh Wagner. There is an extended interview with filmmaker and historian Michael Felcher that's 20 minutes long. Extended interview with filmmaker Jeff Burr that's 6 minutes long. Convention chat with actress Danielle Harris that's 6 minutes. She gives a little bit of an intro, and then it's a short interview she did with Gunnar Hansen, where she said she was going to so many conventions and seeing people get asked the same questions over and over again. She decided she would go around and have a list of really unusual questions that she would ask her fellow horror icons, just out of curiosity and for fun. And this was Gunnar Hansen's responses to those questions, and they were very fun and funny. And you can see really the kind of, on the exterior, very stern and serious guy, but on the interior, very lovable and fun and mischievous. You get the Southern Hospitality trailer from 1983. This was a film that, it's a sort of a show reel or a teaser for a film that Michael Kallio, who made this documentary, wanted to get made, and he wanted Gunnar Hansen to be in as a certain character, and this is what he made to sort of do a proof of concept. He said it was inspired by the Within the Woods the Within the Woods short that the Evil Dead filmmakers made, where they did a very, very short version, or like a scene from what the movie they were hoping to make would be, to show people, to say, look, we can effectively make something exciting. If you give us the money, we'll turn this into a full movie. Something like that. It's a film that never ultimately got made. That's 3 minutes long. And then you get Tales of Gunnar, which is 20 minutes of outtakes from this film with people that you may or may not have seen in the final cut, telling stories that were not in the body of the film. I can show you what it looks like. It's got a really, really nice cover with Gunnar Hansen and his many faces. And I don't believe there's anything inside. No, it's just the same picture on the disc. But the new Anchor Bay is very interesting. Anchor Bay Entertainment was this huge company for a while that really was the horror label before a lot of other boutique labels really sprung up. And they put out so many things repeatedly, but so many things. And they went away, and now they got swallowed up by Stars, and they started putting out more mainstream stuff, and then they kind of just evaporated. And it's nice that somebody else has the rights now and is bringing Anchor Bay back to its roots. It's all been independent horror stuff thus far, and all to some degree or another very interesting. So available now on Blu-ray from Anchor Bay Entertainment is the really, really kind of warm and loving documentary, which you wouldn't think that with the title, Dinner with Leatherface.